In a small town called Umuala, there lived Mr. Ugo, a struggling palm wine tapper who struggled to make ends meet. Ugo was well known for his tasty palm wine, and the villagers patronized him. But the proceeds from his venture were barely enough to feed himself and his family. Mr. Ugo was married to Naomi, a gorgeous but humble and responsible woman. Unlike most women who insisted they marry a wealthy man, Naomi fell deeply in love with Ugo's personality and decided to struggle with and support him until he became successful. So she engaged herself in menial jobs to assist the household finances. After 3 years of marriage, Ugo and Naomi had a son named Chigozie. Chigozie was very smart and intelligent, but his parents lacked the resources to send him to a good school, so he attended the community school in Umuala village. His peers mocked and ridiculed him because of the torn school uniform and worn-out shoes he wore to school. However, Chigozie didn't let the shame and embarrassment from his peers stop him from being dedicated and focused on his studies. Despite his situation, he always came first in his class. When Chigozie finished his primary school in Umuala village, Ugo and Naomi sent him to stay with his uncle in the city because he was brilliant. They didn't have the money to send him to school, so they believed he would have more opportunities to succeed in the city instead of struggling with them in the village. So Chigozie was sent to stay with his uncle, Eze. Eze was married to a beautiful woman called Cynthia, and they had two kids, Kelvin and James. When Chigozie arrived in the city, Cynthia and his cousins welcomed him happily. Chigozie followed his uncle to his shop the next day, where he sold building materials. His uncle showed him around the shop and introduced him to his workers. Eze told Chigozie that he would send him to school, but after school every day, Chigozie would have to go to the shop to help out so his uncle could save up his school fees. Chigozie was very happy with the arrangement because he could go to school. He thanked his uncle sincerely and resumed immediately. The following month, Chigozie was enrolled in one of the city's best schools, the same school his uncle's children attended. However, things took a terrible turn for Chigozie when he started school. He was so intelligent that all his teachers loved him. Because of this, many unserious students disliked and bullied him, especially his seniors. After his first term at the school, Chigozie did exceedingly better than his uncle's children. His uncle was very proud of him. He would often compare his children to Chigozie. Look at Chigozie, from a poor home, yet he is always at the top of his class. Can't you study and be like him? Does he have two heads? Chigozie's uncle would often tell his kids. This didn't sit well with his wife, Cynthia. She started maltreating Chigozie because he was better than her kids. She stopped being nice to him and turned him into a houseboy. Chigozie was scared to tell his uncle because he was often absent, which meant it would only worsen things for him. Despite how Chigozie was treated at home, he never stopped being dedicated and serious about his studies. He would usually finish his chores past midnight, but instead of sleeping, he would pick up his book and start studying. Chigozie also had many enemies at his uncle's shop because of his sincerity and integrity.
His uncle's workers disliked him because whenever they stole money from the business, Chigozie would expose them. For this reason, they stopped associating with him and prevented him from joining them whenever they were having fun. But his uncle admired his personality and trusted him so much.
In the school where Chigozie studied, his cousins were friends with a very notorious student called Chisom, who was well known for bullying younger and weak students. Chisom formed a group made up of students from wealthy families to oppress and bully other students.
Chisom got to know about Chigozie from his cousins. Kelvin and James told Chisom that Chigozie was from an impoverished family. They told Chisom that Chigozie's father was a poor palm wine tapper and his mother did menial jobs in the village. So Chisom and his groups of bullies started pestering and intimidating Chigozie.
They made life a living hell for him in the school. Whenever Chigozie came to school, they would come to his class and take the food he was given. They sent him on errands and forced him to help them with their assignments because he was brilliant. Chigozie had no one to fight for him and he couldn't report them to the school authorities because their parents were very connected to influential people in the society, so they were untouchable. One day, Chigozie's school was invited to an international competition, and Chigozie was one of the two students chosen to represent the school. The competition was held in a different state, and many prestigious schools from other locations participated. During the competition, Chigozie met Onye, a beautiful girl from another school. Onye was very kind, and Chigozie instantly took a liking to her. They became friends, but Chigozie's school came first after the competition, while Onye's school came second. Everyone was so proud of Chigozie for his outstanding performance. The student he was paired with from his school was called Emeka. Emeka was impressed by Chigozie's intelligence, and they became friends. During recess one day, Emeka asked Chigozie, "What would you like to become in the future?" Chigozie thought profoundly and heard about the question because he had never considered it. After some days of soul searching, he came to Emeka with his answer. He told Emeka that he would like to be a lawyer and stand up for people like himself against Chisom and his group of bullies, who felt they were above the law because of their influence. Whenever Chisom and his group of bullies finished maltreating Chigozie, Emeka consoles him and buys him something to eat. Emeka became his best friend. They both continued in this manner until they graduated with excellent grades. However, his cousins and Chisom didn't do well, so they were forced to repeat. This made Cynthia even angrier. Chigozie was with his uncle at the shop one day when some men came to buy some items in bulk. After his uncle finished supplying the items, they paid him in cash. When his uncle was counting the money, Chigozie entered the shop and took a closer look at the money. He discovered that the money was counterfeit and informed his uncle immediately. The men tried to flee, but they were apprehended by the security team at the market. This made his uncle so proud of him. Chigozie's action saved him a huge loss that would have crippled his business. After business that day, Eze sat Chigozie down and asked him what he would like to do with his life. "You have been with me for many years. What would you like to do with your life? Would you like to further your education?" his uncle asked him. Chigozie nodded his head quickly at his uncle's question. His uncle laughed at his eagerness and promised to see him through school to thank him for saving his business. Meanwhile, Cynthia hated Chigozie because of her children's struggle to pass through school while he was soaring academically. She would often starve him and force him to go to bed without food. Her hatred for Chigozie blinded her to her children's flaws. She stopped her children from doing house chores and allocated everything to Chigozie. But Chigozie didn't complain. He did everything he was told to do with joy. Unknown to Cynthia, she was spoiling her kids. It wasn't long before Chigozie gained admission to the university to study law. He had to travel to the village to break the news to his parents. They were so happy for him. They prayed for him and struggled even harder to support him in any way they could. When Chigozie got to the university, his uncle gave him a monthly allowance. Still, it wasn't enough to cover his needs, so Chigozie had to take on menial jobs to save up more money for his education. While at university, he met his old friend Emeka, but Emeka was studying business administration. Emeka was the only son of a business mogul, so his father wanted him to take over the company when he retired. They rekindled their old friendship, but weren't always together because their courses differed. However, Emeka helped Chigozie most times whenever he had financial difficulties and was always there to encourage Chigozie. When Chigozie was in his final year, his uncle fell sick and died a few weeks later. His uncle's death deeply hurt Chigozie. It meant that he would have to fund himself through the last session of his academics. Cynthia and her children eventually liquidated his uncle's business because none of them learned the trade when he was alive. Chigozie was very sad about the event's turnout, but could do nothing. He continued his education with the help of his parents, and after a few months, he graduated from the university with a first-class degree. Chigozie started searching for a law firm to employ him in the city. Fortunately, he met Onye at the fourth firm, where he submitted his credentials. She was the daughter of the firm owner. Onye was shocked when Chigozie remembered her after all those years. She remembered how intelligent he was. She convinced her father to employ him, and he did. In less than 3 years of working with the firm, Chigozie became a top-rated and high-ranking lawyer. Many prominent clients hired Chigozie for his expertise whenever they had a case, and Chigozie held a record of never having lost a case since he joined the firm. He was promoted to the firm's top lawyer post, and his salary was significantly increased, alongside other benefits. Chigozie didn't forget his parents. He built them a massive house in Umuala village and employed a maid who helped them around the house. He ensured that they lacked nothing they needed and always checked up on them. During office hour one afternoon, Onye entered Chigozie's office. She bluntly confessed to Chigozie that she liked him. She admitted that she liked him since they first met at the competition and how she felt for him hadn't changed over the years. Chigozie was shocked at her confession because he felt the same way, but was scared to open up because she was his employer's daughter. After work that day, they went on a date and started a new relationship. In a few months, they got married. Chigozie asked Emeka to be his best man, and 3 years later, they had two beautiful children. However, Onye discovered that Chigozie was different from the other lawyers in the firm. He always kept to himself and avoided social gatherings. Onye felt it was odd
So she pressured Chigozie until he opened up and told her what he experienced when he was in school at his uncle's place. Onye felt sorry for him, and gradually she helped him overcome the trauma.
Chigozie and his wife Onye lived happily until a case was brought to Chigozie's firm one day. However, Chigozie wasn't at the office when the case was assigned, but the woman who came to the law firm insisted that she wanted Chigozie to handle the case personally. When Chigozie returned to the firm, he reviewed the file and fixed a date to meet the prisoners in the cell. On the day he chose to meet them, his wife Onye had something to do close to the cell where they were being held, so she offered to drop him off at the police station. When Chigozie got to the prison, he got the shock of his life. He realized that the prisoners were Chisom, Kelvin, James, and the other boys who bullied him when he was still in school. Chisom and the other men were equally shocked to see Chigozie. He was the last person they expected to see. Chigozie was speechless. He stood there for almost 30 minutes, ruminating about the past and how they treated him. There was total silence. When Onye was done with what she came to do, she met Chigozie motionless in front of the cell where the prisoners were held. She called him, but Chigozie was too shocked to hear anything. It was when she touched him that he regained his composure. Onye drove Chigozie home quietly because he didn't have the right mind to return to the office. Onye suspected that the prisoners might be the same boys who bullied him in school, but she wanted to be sure. So when they got home, she asked Chigozie what the matter was, and he confirmed that the prisoners were the same boys who made life a living hell for him. Chigozie decided that he wouldn't take their case and redirected it to someone else. But his uncle's wife, Cynthia, approached Chigozie and pleaded on her children's behalf. She begged Chigozie to forgive her for the way she treated him in the past. She told him that she got his number from a close friend and she was told that only Chigozie could save her children. His cousin tried to contact him to apologize for all they did to him, but Chigozie refused to see them. Another lawyer represented them in a court of law, and they lost the case. They were sentenced to 35 years in prison with hard labor. Some months later, Onye pleaded with her husband Chigozie to visit the boys in the prison, not for their sake, but for his own sake. She told him that when you don't forgive someone who has offended you, they will always be in your heart, and you will become bitter whenever you think of them. She urged him to learn to forgive those who have offended him to preserve his peace of mind. Chigozie listened to his wife, and they went there one weekend with their children. His cousins were happy to see Chigozie and his family. They sincerely apologized for what they had done to him in the past and pleaded for his forgiveness. They promised to be better people when they regained their freedom. Chigozie forgave them, and he felt relieved and happy when he did. The next day, when Chigozie arrived at the firm, he requested Kelvin and James' file. He carefully reviewed the file and discovered that Kelvin and James were innocent. They accompanied Chisholm and his gang to rob a very wealthy business mogul. After they had finished robbing him, Chisholm and his gang took turns sleeping with the man's wife. Meanwhile, Kelvin and James were outside the residence, keeping watch. They had no idea what was happening inside the house. When the police arrived, they were all arrested and charged with the same crime. Chigozie thought about his uncle and felt that this was the only way to repay him for his kindness and support through school, since his uncle had passed away. Chigozie reopened the case at the court of law and eventually proved that Kelvin and James were innocent. They were released from the prison some months later and they mended their ways. Cynthia and her children remain grateful to Chigozie for the rest of their lives. Please share your thoughts and lessons learned in the comment section below. Thank you.